Sri Radha Kund. Okay. Actually, it is mentioned in the scriptures that among the two worlds, okay, there is this material world, there is this spiritual world. So, a spiritual world is more opulent and more dear to Krishna, and in that whole spiritual realm, this Braj Bhumi, or the area of Mathura, that is very dear to Krishna. Okay, and in that the Vrindavan is more dear to Krishna, and in that the area of Govardhan is even more dear to Krishna, and in that the Radha Kund is more and more and more dear to Krishna. So you will understand now that among everything, all what exists, the Radha Kund is the best place to reside, and is the most dear place for Krishna. Okay, that means if you consider full, then Radha Kund is the topmost place, you can say. If you want to say, like, I want to go to the topmost place in this, not only in this planet but in this whole creation. Okay, I want to go to the topmost place. Then what is that topmost place? Radha Kund. Because Radha Kund is the liquid form of Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna. Okay, that is Radha Kund. So, as Srimati Radharani is dear to Krishna, same way her Kunda, Radha Kund, is dear to Krishna. So, how this Radha Kund appeared, that is the important thing. Why it is so dear to Krishna, Radha Kund. So there is a pastime which Krishna played in this Bhaumya Leela, and out of that pastime the result came out that Radha Kund appeared on this Bhumi, this planet. Otherwise, this Vrindavan, this Giriraj, this Radha Kund, everything is already existing eternally in the Golok Vrindavan. But for the pastime purpose and for the pleasure of his own devotees and for the purification of people, Krishna manifested this Leela here in this Bhaumya place, in this earthly planet, and Krishna brought all these holy places like Govardhan, like Yamuna, like Radha Kund, Shyam Kund. He brought from there and manifested here so that people can get mercy easily. Okay, it's like people from the most rural and from the most what you can say such a place which is very difficult to approach, and the most unqualified people, for them they cannot approach government, or they are just like, they have done so much mistake and offenses against government that they just like abandoned. They are like, nobody want to do anything for them. For them, if government makes an office there in their colony, okay, this is new office for you, and whatever you want, you come and take it from here without any qualification. You come and just You just have to come here and you just have to chant the glories of government, and then you take this like that. So similar way, in this material world, Krishna out of his causeless mercy created this Vrindavan, Radha Kund, Govardhan, this Yamuna river, so that people can come, the most unqualified people of Kali Yuga can come and get the mercy of Krishna just by being there, just by being in Vrindavan and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's very easy. Anyone can just attain this mercy. So that is why Lord manifested these all holy places, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Ayodhya, Chitrakoot, all Dwarka, Jagannath Puri, Sri Rangam, Kanchipuram, Badrinath. Lord manifested these eternal places in this material world and performed pastimes, Leela there for the benefit and for the giving causeless mercy to the people of Kali Yuga. So that eternal thing comes and manifests here. So for that, Krishna does some Leela. So out of that Leela, this thing happened like that. Simply he can manifest, but he want to make it more melodious, more full of rasa, mellows. So he makes it, he brings that thing with a story. So it becomes more relishable for the people. Okay. So now you just heard that Krishna out of his causeless mercy and Srimati Radharani out of her causeless mercy manifested Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. That's nice. That's very good. We heard it and we got the information. That's very good. But when you hear the story behind it, that how it manifested, then you will feel more enjoyment, more bliss. So that's what Krishna wants, that people should feel more and more ecstasy. So that is why Krishna does this kind of pastimes. Okay, so once what happened that in Vrindavan, Kamsa sent a demon called Arishtasura in Braja. For what purpose? Just to kill Krishna. So this demon had accepted a form of a bull. He was in the form of a bull. So he was very ferocious and frightened, and he frightened all the Brajavasis. And Sri Krishna, he killed this demon very easily. He was in the form of bull, but Krishna killed him. So that night, Krishna played on his flute to attract the gopis and enjoy with them in the Rasa dance. So in daytime, what happened? He killed the Arishtasura, the bull, who was the demon who was in the form of bull. Now in the night, Krishna played the flute so that the gopis hear the sound and they come and they can perform Rasa dance. So while Radharani, Lalita and the other Sakhis were approaching Sri Krishna, they were discussing among themselves, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, he has killed a bull. So in this way he has committed a sin, because killing a bull is a sin. So it has been described in scriptures that if the king commits any sin, then the citizens share the reaction. That is mentioned. So if the king or the government or the leader does any sinful act, then even the citizens has to suffer. So following this principle, the sin incurred by Krishna of killing a bull must have also infected us, because he is the son of King Nanda Maharaj, Brajendra Nandan. So we must consult Puranamasi Devi. She is like one of the chief in the Vrindavan for all kind of this confusions. She gives very nice solution. She is very learned, it seems. And we should go and ask her what we must do to be free from this sin. So while discussing like this, they were approaching Krishna and they spoke loudly so that Krishna could hear. So Radharani said to Krishna, "O killer of the bull." Now she addressed Krishna like this only. "O killer of the bull, today you should not touch our bodies because you are sinner." Now this is kind of different mood between Radha and Krishna. So she is saying, "You are the killer of a bull, so you should not touch us. You are outcasted." So Krishna replied, "Arey, what is this? You foolish gopis. That was not really a bull. He was a demon who had come in the guise of a bull. Actually, he was a demon. And he was creating problem. He came to harm the people of Braja, you people, and I protected you." So Radharani said, "Oh Krishna, even if it was a demon, still he had accepted the form of a bull, right?" So now Radharani quoted another story. So she said, "Brittasur was also a demon. Still Indra incurred the sin of killing a Brahman." Now what you can say? See, she quoted a history. This happened or not? Yes, na? So today also it will be the same principle. So there was a demon called Vritrasur, but he was a Brahmin. So Indra killed him. So Indra got the sin of killing this one Brahmin. So Indra has to suffer for that. That is another story. So Radharani quoted that anyway, Indra was there and he was the demon. Brittasur was Brahman, so Indra killed, so Indra incurred the sin. So in the same way, even if this Arishtrasur was a demon, because he was in the form of a bull, you have incurred sin. So when Krishna heard this explanation from Srimati Radharani, what he can do? He had no answer. So he stood shamefaced and looking down at the ground. He asked Radharani, "If I have incurred this sin, then what is the solution? What should I do to be free from this sin?" So then Srimati Radharani and her Sakhis said that we have already discussed this thing with Devi Puranamasi, and we have heard from her and also from Gargi. What we heard, that daughter of this Gargi is the daughter of Gargacharya. She is also very learned. So what we heard from them, that for this kind of sin, one must travel to all the holy places and take bath in the waters of those tirthas. Okay, all the holy places one should travel and take bath in the tirthas. Because almost all the holy places there is some tirtha, there is some holy river or pond or lake or ocean, something will be there. So one should go and take bath there in all the holy places. Then only will you be free from the sin of killing a bull. Such a severe sin, killing a bull. Okay, so when Krishna heard this process of atonement from sin by when Srimati Radharani spoke like this, so he gave up his humility and said, till now he was okay, tell me what can I do. But now he said, do you think I have to go all over the three world to take bath in all the tirthas? You think I will do that? Just see, now I will bring all the tirthas here before you will see here in front of your eyes. I will bring all the tirthas here. You think I will go? I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you are saying I have to go and take bath everywhere and I have to travel 3 lokas? No, never, not. I'll never go. What I will do, I'll bring all the tirthas here. Okay. So what happened next is, Krishna, in very, very angry mood, kicked the ground with his left heel. That kick of Lord Krishna created a hole, and immediately Ganga, Bhagavati Ganga, appeared from Patal Loka. Then Krishna invited all the Tirthas into the water. They appeared by his order and entered the water. Everyone, all the Tirthas came. After taking bath, Krishna said, I will arrange that this pond created by me and which carries this most pure water of all the Tirthas will exist here eternally. I have created this place, and Ganga is there and all the Tirthas is there. So now I will arrange that this will remain eternally here. So he looked at Radharani and her Sakhis. Now Krishna is saying, now he has taken bath, he is pure. He is Sachidananda Vigraha, ultimate, the topmost pure Krishna. But now in the past time he has to prove that now I am proved. He has to take bath in the holy Tirthas, you see. Ganga, he has to take bath in Ganga. Ganga is what? Ganga is the Ganga comes from the lotus feet of Krishna only. After washing Krishna's lotus feet, that water only is Ganga. But Leela is like that, what to do? So then Krishna said to Radharani and her Sakhis, see, now I have taken bath in this water and have been purified from my sin. But what about all of you? You have performed no pious activities in this life. How can you take bath in all these Tirthas? You have no qualification to take bath in these Tirthas. So all the gopis said, Oh Krishna, you are a great cheater. Who can understand your illusion, your Maya? Nobody can. You are Yogeshwara, you are the greatest cheater. So that's why nobody can cheat Krishna. Krishna is the topmost in every field. Okay, if you call for cheating, then he is the greatest of all the cheater. Thief, he is the greatest of all the thieves. Okay. So Gopis said, who can understand your Leela, bhai? You are Krishna, greatest cheater. So the water in this pond is just normal water. You are cheating us. This is not at all holy water. How can you say so proudly that this water is from all Tirthas? We don't believe it. You might have created some magic and some place you created and there is some water. How it is, you have to prove now. We don't believe it is a water from holy Tirthas. So when Krishna heard this from the gopis, then what he did? He called all the Tirthas. And all the Tirthas in their personified form. Like Ganga, she is in the form of river, but now she appeared in the form of Devi, personified form. In front of Radharani, all the Tirthas appeared, and one by one they identified themselves to her. They said, one by one, all the Tirthas said, I am this, I am this, I am the Lavana ocean, I am Sona, I am the Sindhu river, I am the Tamarparni river, I am Pushkar, I am Saraswati, I am Yamuna, I am Kaveri, I am Tirtharaj Prayag, I am the river. Now all of us have entered into this kunda in the form of water. Everybody said, I am this, now I am entering in this kunda. Then Krishna said to the gopis, now there is nothing for you to doubt. I have taken bath in the holy water of all the Tirthas and I am now completely free from all sins. But what about all of you? Being citizens of Braja, you are infected by sin. Now you all should take bath in this water and become free from sin. You are also, because you are the citizen of here, so you also got some sin. So now you also have to take bath in this. Otherwise you will remain contaminated and you will not be able to touch my body. Now Krishna said, earlier Radharani said, you cannot touch our body. Now Krishna said, now you cannot touch my body. So Radharani said, "Oh Sakhis, Krishna has," now Radharani also in different mood today. She's saying, "Oh Sakhis, Krishna has created this pond by kicking the ground with his feet." So this is not an auspicious start. Just by her feet he is made this pond, na? So it is not at all auspicious because his feet is there. No, Krishna's feet is the most auspicious, but the mellow or the dealing between Radha and Krishna are like this. So furthermore, so Radharani is saying, first of all, he created this by his feet. So there is no auspiciousness. Then, since he took his bath here, this water has become contaminated by receiving the sins of Krishna. Already it is created by his feet. Now he has taken bath in this. Now it is not at all pure water. You see. When Krishna takes Abhisheka, Krishna takes bath, it is called Abhisheka. And that Abhisheka thing, everyone, big Brahma, Shiva want as a Charanamrit. It is called Charanamrit. They want to take one drop of it. But when Brajalila, they don't know he is who, he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Radharani is also that. So she is the, even, that's what it is. She controls even Krishna. Okay. So, that's what the Leela is. So now, Radharani is saying, see, Krishna created this pond by his feet and so it is not at all auspicious, and on top of it he has taken bath in it, so the whole water is now not at all pure. So, this water is contaminated, we should not take bath in this kunda. Then what we will do? We must create our own kunda and take bath in that water. Apna. Okay, so Radharani said we will create our own thing. Okay, so Krishna created one pond. Now Radharani on the western side of this kund created the kund which was created by Krishna. On the western side, Radharani found a place that bore the hoof print of the demon Arishtasur. So in this way, she created a hole there, and Radharani took her bangles and with the help of her Sakhis began digging. Now her bangles, Kankan, okay, she was, that Kangan was there, na? She was digging with this Kangan. All the Sakhis using their bangles started digging there. There were so many gopis that in a short time they created a big, large pond there. And because this kunda was created by bangles of Radharani, it was known as Kankan Kund. And this is, now I will tell you later where is this Kankan Kund. So, in this way Radharani very quickly created one nice pond, Kund, next to Krishna Kund. So this kund which was created by Krishna, this kund only is known as today as Shyama Kund. So Krishna was very much surprised to see this. Radharani and Sakhi just by their bangles created this big pond. So then Srimati Radharani then he told to Radharani that, "Oh lotus-eyed lady, you have made a nice pond here. But what is the use of this pond if there is no water in it? What is the use? Anyway, I can allow you along with all your Sakhis to take water from my kund to fill yours. Okay, I am merciful, I will allow you take some water from my pond." Krishna was surprised. This Krishna thought they may not be able to create. She created. Now then there is no use because there is no water. So I allow you, you take, please take. But hearing this from Krishna, Radharani turned her face away and raising her chin, she said, "No, no, no. Your pond, your kunda is contaminated by the sins you released there during your bath. we will not take bath in that water at all. So I will bring water from Manasi Ganga by the help of my millions of Sakhis. So nearby is Manasi Ganga. So we will bring water from there. So in this way I will establish the incomparable glories of my Kunda in this world. Okay. So Krishna thought this would be far too laborious task for Radharani and the gopis, and so he indicated to all the tirthas to approach Srimati Radharani and offered their prayers to her. Krishna said, you all go. To all the tirthas he said, you go and offer prayers to Srimati Radharani. So all the tirthas approached Sri Radharani and prayed and begged to serve her. So immediately when Krishna said so, all these tirthas again came in their personified form, appeared in front of Srimati Radharani and offered their prayers. And they said, O Devi, who can calculate the greatness of your glories? The corner of your lotus feet are radiant rays of beauty desired even by Lakshmi Devi. Only one person knows your glories in full, and he is the son of Nanda Maharaj, who is cleaning the perspiration of your body out of love for you. When Radharani sweats, Krishna cleans that. And why he does that? Out of love. Out of love, Krishna massages Radharani's lotus feet. He decorates your lotus feet very beautifully with ankle bells made of precious gems. Krishna does. He decorates the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. He feels himself most fortunate to receive the mercy of your vision. When Radharani looks at Krishna, Krishna feels that he is now being fortunate. By his order and mercy we have appeared in this kunda. All the tirthas are saying, by the mercy and order of Krishna only we have appeared in this pond here, which was created by the kick of his heel. So, O Srimati Radhika Rani, kindly accept us by casting your merciful glance upon us. Let us live in your kunda, in your pond, and always have the opportunity to behold your sweet pastimes with Krishna. So in this way all our desires will be fulfilled. So all the tirthas prayed to Srimati Radharani in this way. So hearing these all prayers of the personified tirthas, Srimati Radharani looked upon Sri Krishna and smiled. She said, O tirthas, I am very pleased with your prayers. Now you may enter into my kund by your sweet will. On this merciful order of Srimati Radharani, immediately Sri Krishna with the help of his flute made a hole in the dam between both kundas. So she created one kunda and Krishna also created. So then Krishna with the help of his flute made a hole in between. Okay. Still it is there today also. And the water from Shyam Kunda entered into Radha Kunda. So Srimati Radharani entered her kunda at midnight on Kartik Purnima, Krishna Ashtami or Bahula Ashtami Tithi. So in these tithis she comes at midnight. And when Krishna saw Radha Kunda filled with water, he also took bath there, and he said to Radharani, O my most dear one, I will take bath and engage in water sports daily in this kunda created by you. As you are dear to me, this kunda created by you is also very dear to me. Every year thousands of devotees take bath at Radha Kund on this tithi and muhurta to attain the perfection of life. The appearance of in the Kartik month this comes. So this kunda is known as Radha Kund. So what is that Kankan Kund? Kankan Kund still exists inside Radha Kund. It is 20 feet square and 16 feet deep. Kankan Kund. So when devotees emptied Radha Kund for cleaning purpose, at that time Kankan Kund was visible. So generally we cannot see Kankan Kund, we can only see Radha Kund, but every year or every time when they clean Radha Kund, that time this Kankan Kund can be seen. So that was the description of the appearance, the holy appearance of Srimati Radharani's Kund and Krishna's Kund, Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. Okay. Okay, so now one or two small pastimes we can discuss and then we can complete. We have some time. Okay, some 5 or 10 minutes more. So one day what happened, Sri Krishna was grazing cows in the forest. So the beautiful scent of flowers in the surrounding forest kunjas was very, very attractive. And this fragrance of flowers attracted Krishna, bewildered Krishna's mind, and then Krishna played on his flute, calling the name of Radharani again and again. The sound of Radharani's name caused his body to fill with the symptoms of ecstasy, and then tears flowed from his eyes. Looking upon a tree, Krishna asked, "Please tell me, where is my Prana Priya, my Radha? I am searching for her. Please specify me by giving me news of her." But the tree did not reply. So Krishna stood near the forest path where his beloved Radha would come, watching and waiting. Soon Radharani and her Sakhis reached that place, that kunja. And then Radharani's parrot, Radharani has one pet parrot, her name is Sarika. So that Sarika gave Radharani the news that Krishna was crying pathetically and longing to meet with her. When Radharani heard this news, she started to cry. And she started searching for Krishna. So then she said, "Where is my Prana Priya Krishna? Please give me your darshan just at least once." So crying like this, Radharani ran to her Prana Vallabh Krishna. When Radha and Krishna met, they embraced each other, and blissful in the ecstasy of meeting, they were crying. They lost external consciousness. At that time, Lalita came and tied a knot in the cloth of both Radha and Krishna and then left the kunja. They were embracing each other and crying in the ecstasy, and then Lalita came and she tied both Radha and Krishna's cloth. After some time, Radha okay, 1 second. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. So then when Lalita Sakhi tied the cloth of both Radha and Krishna, then what happened? So after some time, Radha and Krishna sat on a simhasana or jeweled seat surrounded by their Sakhis, who were joking and laughing with Yugala Kishore, Radha and Krishna. Then Krishna found the knot that tied his and Radharani's cloth together. So then he said, "Who has put a knot in our cloth? who has done this most wonderful deed? He liked it. So my heart and Radharani's heart are bound together always. Today someone has caused this internal condition to manifest externally by tying a knot in our cloth. So Lalita Sakhi said, "O Krishna, this is a special symptom of love. When love arises with someone, then he loses his external senses. At that time when he is in the great ecstasy of Premananda, the bliss of love, internal hidden subjects manifests externally. Then he himself forgets and causes others to forget also." So that is the reason there is a knot in your cloth. So the speech by Lalita gave great pleasure to Radha and Krishna and their Sakhis, who were all started laughing in great happiness and bliss. So this pastime occurred in a place called Ganthuli in Vraja. Because of this tying the knot, the place name became Ganthuli. So one day, Radha and Krishna along with all the Sakhis were engaged in playful activities. They all reached the bank of a pond surrounded by many beautiful trees. Many beautiful birds were making sweet sounds, and Radha and Krishna sat down there and their Sakhis surrounded them. Monkeys were jumping from branch to branch and thus enjoying the beautiful atmosphere. Some of them crossed the pond to offer obeisances to Krishna. Some made different kinds of sound. Seeing this, Lalita and Vishakha, in ancient times, they said that in ancient times, Lord Ramchandra had lost Sita Devi. With the help of many monkeys, he searched for her all throughout the forest. Finally, hearing the message from the one bird of Sita Devi's kidnapping by the demon Ravan, Lord Ramchandra wanted to fight with Ravan to rescue Sita Devi. So this demon Ravan, Lord Ramchandra wanted to fight with Ravan to rescue Sita Devi. But Ramchandra could not fight with Ravana as the demon lived in Lanka across the ocean. So no one was able to cross the ocean to reach this demon, and thus he remained unchallenged. So I have heard from wise old people that Hanumanji, Lord Ramchandra's loyal assistant, was able to cross the ocean. This Lalita Devi told this to Vishakha about the Lord Ramchandra story. Okay. So when Krishna heard this, he said, "Are, O Lalite, I am that Lord Raghunath. I am only that Ramchandra." So just see how all these, now you see, all these monkeys are crossing the pond to offer the obeisances to me at my lotus feet. I am that same Lord Ram. Who said? Krishna said to Lalita Devi. Hearing Krishna speaking like this, the Sakhis looked at Radharani and all of them started laughing, as if like Krishna made some nice joke. Nobody believed that Krishna only is Rama. So they said, "Are, Nandanandan, why are you speaking of impossible things? See, something you speak which we can digest. Now you are just speaking something which is impossible. Ramchandra is the most powerful archer, the famous son of Maharaj Dasrath, by the sound of whose bow the three worlds would tremble. He knew Lord Ramchandra, they are talking about Lord Ramchandra. He knew of no women but Sita Devi, only one. You are telling us that you are the same Raghunath? It is not at all possible." Lalita Devi said, "Lord Ramchandra created a bridge just by stones on the water and he crossed the ocean to reach Lanka. Can you make a bridge on top of this pond?" So there was a pond. So this is at least Lord Ramchandra created on the ocean. Can you just create on this pond? Let us see if you can show us this. Then we will believe that you are non-different from Raghunath. Otherwise, we don't believe you. So Krishna said, okay, very well. You all go and bring stones. I will make a bridge over this pond. So the Sakhi said, if you are Ramchandra, then order these monkeys to bring your stones. Why do you order us to bring stones for you? Ramchandra ordered monkeys, na? You are Ramchandra, you do. Monkeys are here. So Sri Krishna ordered all the monkeys to bring stones. The monkeys immediately brought many stones and gathered on the bank of this pond. And Krishna, looking upon the sweet lotus face of Radharani, said, O Radhe, if you are my real Pran Priya, only then will I be able to build this bridge. Krishna then picked up the stones and one by one threw them into the pond. All the stones floated on the water due to the touch of Lord Krishna's hand. Very soon he completed the bridge and walked over it to meet with Radharani. Vishakha said, now I understand your trick. I got it. Krishna said, trick? What is a trick? See, these gopis, they will not believe he is something supreme or somebody. So Vishakha said, I understood your trick. Krishna said, my God, what is the trick? I built this bridge of stones in front of you. What trick did I play here? I am God. Everything is possible for me, Baba. You are simple cowherd girls. How can you know my glories and greatness? Hearing this from Krishna, Lalita started laughing like anything. And she said, Arey, O Nandanandan, those who are Shakti worshippers can do things like this by their power. Some siddhi. Sometimes they can walk on a thin rope suspended in the air, holding a water pot on their heads. These people on a rope, they will walk, and there will be some water pot also. It's not a big deal. When these Shakti worshippers do things like this, people may think it is true, but in reality, these are all just tricks. You just made this bridge and walked over it. Some Devi worshippers, they get some Shakti, some Siddhi, and they can also do some. People think this is real, but actually it is all trick, magic. So you have also made this bridge due to the power you have received from Shakti Devi. My God. So this is nothing other than your tricks. So all the Sakhis laughed to hear this from Lalita. In this way, the Lord performed his Madhurya Leela by showing his Aishwarya. This pastime took place in Kamyavan. Kamyavan is there still. So in this way, Lord Krishna played many wonderful pastimes with Srimati Radharani and gopis. Okay, so let us pause here, and tomorrow morning we may continue some more sweet pastime of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So thank you for your time and patience to join here. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimati Radharani ki jai, Sri Radha Ashtami Mahamotsav ki jai, Sri Shyam Sundar ki jai.